The scene transitions to the bustling trade city, where Roman meets Rodriguez, the leader of Valhalla's nocturnal division. Rodriguez, ranked 7th within Valhalla's hierarchy, approaches Roman with an air of authority, informing him that they will escort him from this point forward. However, Roman, exuding confidence, dismisses the offer outright. He curtly tells Rodriguez to dispense with formalities, stating he has no need for their assistance. Roman points out that shadows cannot wreak havoc within Valhalla's territory without explicit permission from the Emperor. He further asserts that the Emperor of Valhalla merely deployed troops to save face and maintain public perception. Roman advises Rodriguez to fabricate a plausible excuse and withdraw his forces. Rodriguez, unfazed, remarks that Roman's reputation for boldness is well-earned. He warns Roman against escalating the situation further and suggests he stay in the city and keep a low profile. According to Rodriguez, the only way Roman could leave Valhalla alive is under the pretext of their protection, a justification Valhalla requires to avoid complications. Unmoved, Roman counters Rodriguez's argument with a steely resolve. He releases a powerful aura that causes the air around them to tense. With a grave expression, Roman declares that Valhalla's assumptions are fundamentally flawed. He states unequivocally that Valhalla cannot kill him, and warns that if he were to return to Dimitry alive, the entire realms of Valhalla and Kronos would face dire consequences. If Valhalla truly intends to kill Roman, he asserts, they should abandon their pretenses and confront him directly. Rodriguez, maintaining his composure, expresses regret over Roman's refusal to cooperate, though his tone carries a note of resignation. He warns Roman to struggle to the very end if that is his choice, adding ominously that their paths will inevitably cross again. Later, at the warp gate in the trade city, a worker informs Roman that travel to Adelion is currently impossible. With Kronos shadows invading the borders, Valhalla has declared a state of emergency. As a result, all warps to foreign nations have been prohibited. The worker further explains that if Roman's destination is Dimitry, his only viable route would require traveling near Paolo, and the journey would have to be made entirely on foot. Sometime later, Sanchez approaches Roman, his expression heavy with suspicion. He voices his concerns, pointing out that this is an obvious trap. Valhalla's actions, Sanchez argues, make it clear they are deliberately obstructing Roman's departure, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike once he crosses the border. Roman listens quietly before responding with calm determination. He acknowledges Sanchez's concerns, admitting that once he crosses the border, both Kronos and Valhalla are likely to unite in their efforts to take his life. Hearing this, Sanchez hesitates before asking if Roman still intends to cross the border despite the dangers. Roman's eyes narrow as he answers resolutely. He states that Valhalla's leadership has become deeply corrupt, implying that their decay justifies the risks he must take. His tone leaves no room for doubt. Roman has already decided to forge ahead, regardless of the peril that awaits. Roman reflects on Valhalla's decline, lamenting how it has abandoned its past glory and surrendered to the compromises of reality. The Valhalla Roman has experienced, he declares, can no longer be called a land of warriors. Its spirit has eroded, leaving behind a hollow shell of what it once stood for. Roman continues, stating that compromising with Valhalla's current state would equate to submission, something he refuses to accept. This, he explains, is why he is willing to take the risk and forge his own path forward. Moved by Roman's determination, Sanchez steps forward and pledges his loyalty, insisting that he will accompany Roman on this perilous journey, even at the cost of his own life. Roman, however, firmly rejects the offer. He explains that Sanchez must remain in Valhalla, as his presence there is critical to the future of their cause. Sanchez protests, stating his unwavering desire to stand beside Roman, but Roman interrupts with a grave warning. He explains that the moment Sanchez crosses Valhalla's border alongside him, Sanchez will no longer be seen as a loyal citizen but as a traitor, a witness to Valhalla's disgrace. To protect its reputation, Valhalla's royal family would undoubtedly eliminate everyone involved to cover up the evidence. Roman then shifts the focus to a potential path forward. He mentions Duke Vieto, a figure of influence who resides in seclusion on Valhalla's southern edge. Roman instructs Sanchez to seek out individuals like the Duke, those who still hold true to Valhalla's ideals, and unite them under a single cause. Building a force capable of opposing the corrupt royal family, Roman asserts, is the only way to restore Valhalla's former glory. He entrusts Sanchez with this vital mission, emphasizing that the burden of what is to come will be borne by Dimitry. The scene transitions to the following day. Roman, resolute in his purpose, marches forward with his forces. As Roman and his forces pressed onward, they were confronted by Rodriguez and his contingent of soldiers. With a smirk, Rodriguez greeted Roman, asking mockingly if he had rested well the previous night. He reminded Roman of his earlier warning, that they would meet again soon. Rodriguez then taunted him, stating that if Roman had sworn loyalty to Valhalla, he could have enjoyed a life of wealth and glory. However, since Roman had chosen to reveal hostility, Rodriguez declared that he could not allow him to leave alive. Unfazed, Roman responded with calm intensity, observing that those who remain at the top for too long often fall into dangerous delusions. They begin to believe, Roman noted, that they can control everything, blinded by an overconfidence in their own strength. As he spoke, Roman unsheathed his sword, its blade gleaming in the dim light. His voice steady, he added that he had been waiting for Rodriguez. Seizing the moment, Rodriguez ordered his soldiers to charge forward and eliminate Roman and his men. Both sides surged toward each other, and the battlefield erupted into chaos. Amid the frenzy, Roman demonstrated his unparalleled skill, taking down the most elite of Rodriguez's soldiers with ease. Watching the spectacle, Rodriguez gritted his teeth, his expression a mix of frustration and determination. He couldn't deny Roman's prowess, hailed as a great warrior even among the people of Valhalla. But Rodriguez saw this as an opportunity, not a setback. If he could be the one to end Roman's reign, it would be a triumph to savor, a victory that would elevate his own standing. Without wasting another moment, Rodriguez drew his weapon and charged forward, his gaze fixed on Roman. His strike was swift, aimed to end the confrontation decisively. Rodriguez observed Roman with narrowed eyes, his thoughts swirling. He had already witnessed Roman's strength firsthand, yet he remained confident. Roman might struggle all he wanted, but Rodriguez believed the outcome was inevitable. Roman could not defeat him. With this conviction, Rodriguez decided to unleash his special technique, the evergreen slash. The air shimmered as Rodriguez's sword cut through it, his attack aimed with lethal precision. However, Roman, ever the seasoned warrior, anticipated the strike. In a flash, he raised his sword and blocked the attack with remarkable composure. Before Rodriguez could recover, Roman countered with a single, devastating blow, and Rodriguez fell in an instant, defeated. The scene then transitions to the grand halls of the Valhalla Palace, where the Emperor of Valhalla sits upon his throne, contemplating recent events. Roman Dimitry, the Emperor mused aloud, truly is an interesting individual. He admitted to his advisors that guerrilla tactics would no longer suffice. Without the intervention of Valhalla's top-ranked elite warriors, there was no hope of stopping Roman's relentless advance. Shifting the blame, the emperor declared that the true instigator of this chaos was the Kronos Empire. Ultimately, he stated, the responsibility for these failures lay with them. After a moment of reflection, the emperor issued a command. Valhalla's forces were to retreat temporarily. He wanted to observe how the Kronos Empire would act from this point onward. From that moment, Roman crossed the border unimpeded, and Valhalla's offensive came to an abrupt halt. However, the respite was short-lived, as Kronos launched an all-out attack. The Dimitry soldiers, though hardened by grueling training, were beginning to reach their limits. After over 2 weeks of relentless forced marches and constant battles, fatigue weighed heavily upon them. Even so, the sight of Roman at the forefront, fighting valiantly alongside his men, the soldier gritted their teeth and held on. The Roman forces commanded their front line to prepare, for the Kronos forces had made their appearance. Chris, exhausted, reflected grimly that the Kronos Empire seemed determined to never give the Romans a moment of respite. However, the situation shifted when Edwin Hector arrived to reinforce the Roman forces. Taking charge, Edwin promptly ordered his soldiers to assist Dimitri's troops and launch an attack against the enemy.